These are the scenes from the United Arab Emirates, the UAE.
Wow. Good night, Jenga people. Oh my God, the world. The Bible says rumors of war. In the last days, there'll be wars and rumors of wars. Well, this is going to affect the entire world. That much I can say. We all have to prepare for this. Best way we can tell people to prepare is to get down on your knees and pray. And ask God, what is the next move I need to do today? That's what I would suggest, ladies and gentlemen, because obviously Israel and Trump ain't playing. You understand? And some of these things are Bible prophecy, you know. And some of these things are biblical prophecies that some people might not want to hear it, but it is some stuff that have to come to pass based off prophecy. Eh? So, yeah, it is what it is.
Qatar's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and he says Qatar reserves the right to respond to the attacks.
In the name of God the Merciful, the state of Qatar, in the strongest possible terms, these ballistic missile attacks and considers this operation as a blatant violation of its sovereignty and the safety of its territories, and also a grave escalation that threatens the stability of the whole region. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has already affirmed in an official statement that it reserves its full right to respond.
A smarter fellow. I am clueless, if I'm being honest here. Like, when it comes on to this, I am just listening. Each side demonizes the other side. This has been a long-standing conflict. I don't know how it really started, if I'm being 100% honest. So I'm just listening at this point, you know?
Probably one of the loudest here, and we've seen a large number of between 15 and 20 explosions in the sky above Doha. And what we understand, that Qatar's air defense systems have been deployed throughout the night as well. Like that was the situation throughout the day. But what we understand, that most of the missiles, and we officially got a confirmation from the Qatar's defense ministry. It says that 65 missiles were fired from the side of Iran, and the 63 were downed, but there were also 2 missiles targeting Al Udeid military base. And as I said, at the center of these defense systems is definitely the Patriot system here, and it works in a way, it detects potential threat, whether it's a drone, whether it's a cruise missile or ballistic missile. It fires before even that threat lands on a territory. But also, Patriot systems got some limitations in sense that if there are several drones that fired from one side, and it's going to be extremely overwhelming for the system to detect all these potential threats. And that could be one of the reasons why the 2 missiles targeted Al Udeid military base, but also another radar systems here in Doha.
Well, the spokesman for Iran's Ministry of Foreign Affairs told Al Jazeera that Iran should not be blamed for its strikes on other countries in the region.
What?
I think they're not really coming under attack by Iran. We have said once and again, and I would like to repeat that we are friendly with all countries of the region. We have proven that we trust our friends in the region. That's why we try to get together with the countries of the region in furtherance of this diplomatic process. The problem is that the United States is conducting this war of aggression at the cost of everyone, including the countries of the region. Under international law, any place, any location, any logistical support that are given to the aggressor are a legitimate target for the victim state. So we are not attacking any country in the region. We are friendly with all countries of the region. What we are doing is just taking defensive actions. We are defending ourselves against attacks by Americans and by the Zionist regime. And as you know, many of these bases, although they are part of the countries of the region's territories, but they are completely controlled by the United States, and they are used, or better to say, abused by the United States in order to launch an act of aggression against another country of the region.
Well, the Supreme Leader...
Terry, big up yourself. So, the Supreme Leader of Iran, them confirmed say he died. You know, that was up in the air earlier, but Trump had put out it. This is gonna be bad for a lot of us, bro. I'm telling you.
To be replaced. Here are some of the potential candidates. Mujtaba Khamenei is Ayatollah Khamenei's second eldest son. While he holds no formal position, he wields immense influence. He was a top aide to his father and said to have strong ties to the Revolutionary Guard. But he would be a controversial choice, seen as a hereditary handover. Alireza Arafi is the director of Iran's religious seminaries and Friday prayer leader of Qom's seminary capital. Khamenei had repeatedly appointed him to senior positions. Mohammad Mahdi Moghareri is a ultra-hardline cleric and key figure in the front of Islamic Revolution Stability political groups. Gholam Hossein Mohseni Ejei is also a potential candidate. He's been Iran's Chief Justice since 2021. And finally, Hassan Khamenei, the grandson of Ayatollah Khamenei, the first Supreme Leader. He's a reformist and a prominent political figure in Iran. Well, Al Jazeera's correspondent Rasul Surdar has reported extensively from Iran. He joins us in the studio now to unpack the latest developments. So, confirmation the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei is dead. Tell us what impact this is now having on the country, and what's likely to do in terms of where the war goes from here, from Iran's military response.
I think here, at the end of the day, regardless of his death, Iranians have been quite clear that even if the U.S. Strikes are limited, Iran's response is going to be like a full-fledged war. And the reason for that is there has been lots of Iranian policymakers that believe that after October 7th, 2023, Iran's response to the escalation of the U.S. and Israel has always been de-escalation, and that has encouraged further attacks on Iranian assets across the region, in Lebanon, in Syria, and then finally in the country last June. And so the belief is that, so from now on, there is nowhere to go. And we have to respond with our full military might to reestablish our deterrence. That's why now they are going to mobilize all of their capabilities and capacities. Whether it's going to be enough really to put a deterrence there or not is a different case, because we know that Iran has very limited resources as well. It's a country that is tremendously struggling from the lack of the economic resources. However, now that the head of the state is killed, and not only as head of state as a political position, but it's also a theological position for the Shia Muslims in the world. So, and that head of the theological position, who is believed to be the representative of Imam, that's going to come at the end of the time, bring the justice to the world. So, Iranians are going to respond with their whole capacity, with their full military capabilities. That is quite clear. To reestablish the deterrence and also to make sure that the next leader is not going to be targeted.
So let's talk briefly about the Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC. How will they affect the election of the new Supreme Leader, Rasul? Because they're a hugely influential body, aren't they?
So Revolutionary Guards have been formed through the Iran-Iraq War, which has started in 1980 and then ended in 1988. So then, when Ali Khamenei actually has been elected as the new Supreme Leader, one of the institutions that he has invested heavily and also trusted heavily is the Revolutionary Guard. So simply it was a symbiotic relationship between them. So he was feeding the Revolutionary Guards, and the Revolutionary Guards were giving him the power. So this mutual relation between the two have enhanced both parties tremendously. Now the Revolutionary Guards are controlling of the country's economy. They're controlling the intelligence. They're controlling the banking, oil, gas, mining industries. And they are extremely powerful when it comes to the political decision-making processes. So just a little bit ago, you have run some of the names like Hassan Rouhani, Hassan Khomeini, some Ajay, and some of other names that potentially could be the successor of the Ali Khamenei. So I will say, well, actually, the next leader is going to be IRGC, because in 1989, when Ali Khamenei has been elected as the supreme leader of the country, there were no revolutionary guards that much powerful yet. They were still taking a shape. And so he was elected by civilians relatively. But now, whoever is going to put forward, we can be sure that is going to come from the revolutionary guards.
Let's just talk about these succession plans, Raisel, if we can, because the Islamic Revolution, as we've been talking about all morning, is deeply embedded in the politics of the country, the institutions, the society. Now that the Supreme Leader is dead, talk us through the system, the constitution, and how that succession...
Look, normally Iran has three bodies that are running the country. So the government, legislative, and the judiciary. But in Iran, particularly after the election of Ali Khamenei 37 years ago, he has also built tremendous numbers of the councils that in many cases are more powerful than the government, the parliament, the judiciary, and they act independently. They directly report to the supreme leader. So this is on one hand to make sure that there is a check and balance in the system, but it's also because there is the lack of trust between these institutions. So let's remember, Iran is a security state. So, and one of the powerful councils is the Assembly of Experts. That's its primary reasons of the existence is to elect the supreme leader of the country. And it's 88 members political body. So this political body is going to come, and these are just all the religious figures, and they're going to put the names and discuss on that, and then it's going to be elected. In that sense, actually, it's a selection, not an election, because it's not going through the popular vote of people. So there will not be the ballot boxes and asking Iranians who you want to see as your next leader. So it's going to be 88 people who have been vetted by the Guardian Council, another council, and these guys are going to come and select that. But in up until that time, there will be a new council, including the president, the head of the judiciary, and also one member of the Guardian Council. 3 people are going to run the country for an interim period of time until the Assembly of Experts come up with a final name.
Raisel, talk to us about Ali Khamenei's life and what sort of legacy he leaves behind. I mean, let's remind our viewers, he was loved and adored by everyone in Iran, given the sanctions, the wars, the social turmoil that's hit this country over many, many years now.
Indeed, he was an extremely controversial figure. So throughout his tenure, we have seen that he has been loved and, by the way, admired by millions of people, but also hated by some other millions. So in that sense, he was a controversial figure. One thing should be kept in mind. He is the builder and the architect of the modern day Iran. Any state institutions, particularly their strategic institutions, any security apparatuses that you can imagine, and also any individual now, the senior individuals in the country that are running the state's affairs have been either formed, built, or appointed by Ali Khamenei. So in that sense, he's the founding father of the modern Iran. On the other hand, one thing has made him different than the previous one. So the first supreme leader of Iran was Khomeini, Ayatollah Khomeini, who was regarded as a charismatic leader. And when Ali Khamenei has been elected, he knew that he lacks that charisma. So what he has done was to enhance the security apparatuses and to rely on them. So he enhanced the state, but at the cost of people. And that has created a gap between people and the state. So a kind of a lack of communication. So the divergence of the positions between people and the government. And that has been the source of the tensions. So that's why, by the time, he has been more and more unpopular in Iran.
All right, Raisel, many thanks for your analysis. We'll obviously come back to you later on throughout the morning on this. Now, countries and regional powers have reacted to the joint military operation on Iran. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez says his government rejects the military action against Iran. The EU's foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas, has called the developments in the region perilous, but also says the Iranian government poses a serious threat to global security. Meanwhile, Russia has urged an immediate end to the attacks on Iran. Moscow says the situation must be a political and diplomatic settlement. The Chinese Foreign Ministry has called for an immediate stop of the military actions and resumption of dialogue and negotiation and efforts to uphold peace and stability in the Middle East. Well, China was one of the countries that called for that emergency UN meeting. It voiced deep concerns about the US-Israeli strikes in Iran. Let's get more on this from Katrina Yu, who joins us live from the Chinese capital, Beijing. Katrina, so China voicing deep concerns over these strikes. What more have Chinese officials been saying, Katrina?
Yes, deep concern from Beijing. Not surprising, it is one of the few major economies in the world that did maintain a good, robust with Iran, a good trading relationship. It was a major buyer of Iran's oil, and because of this, it was said to be propping up the regime in Tehran by providing this economic lifeline. Now, China, for its part, was not expecting a regime change anytime soon. They just had the Iranian president visit China last September. They had signed a cooperation plan that was supposed to last at least another 20 years. So China is definitely watching this very closely. It's immediate halt to these attacks. It says that Iran's sovereignty, its territory should be. It said that all parties should return to the negotiating table in order to preserve the stability of the Middle East. And I think that really is what Beijing is most concerned about. It does not want to see this conflict spiral out of control, affecting other countries and therefore disrupting the global energy market on which it really relies. Also, China is looking at this long term. Beijing has spent years now trying to build a more multipolar world, one where the United States is less influential. And it saw Tehran, it seized the region, a vital counterbalance to the Western allies. And so if the regime does topple and there is a change of government, this would be very concerning, because as they see it, this may reshape global alliances in favor of Washington and not of Beijing.
All right, Katrina, you do live for us in Beijing. Katrina, thank you. Well, the United Nations Secretary General has described the...
Hey, you see this thing here? Why carrying a call it, man? Store water and food, people. People, store water and food. If you don't think so, Jamaica not gonna be affected by this. You don't make a sad mistake. You understand? Alright. Jamaica, store water and food. Alright. Let's continue.
Bahrain, speaking on behalf of the Gulf Cooperation Council, rejected any Iranian justification for targeting its regional neighbors. GCC countries strongly condemn and denounce this Iranian wanton aggression, and we reaffirm that targeting civilians and civilian infrastructure is condemned and rejected by all international and human standards. Many members of the council were critical of the U.S.-Israeli strikes taking place as negotiations were ongoing, something the UN's top diplomat alluded to.
Preparations have been made for technical talks in Vienna next week, followed by a new round of political talks. I deeply regret that this opportunity of diplomacy has been squandered.
But the U.S. claimed Iran wasn't negotiating in good faith.
American diplomacy was attempted repeatedly and in good faith. President Trump, Secretary Rubio, our special envoys Witkoff and Kushner were relentlessly dedicated to diplomacy. But diplomacy cannot succeed where there is no genuine willingness to cease aggression, where there is no genuine partner for peace.
After the attacks, what is the status of Iran's nuclear facilities? We might learn more on Monday, because that's when the UN's nuclear agency, the IAEA, will hold an emergency meeting in Vienna. Gabriel Zondo, Al Jazeera, the United Nations in New York.
Now, in the US, congressional reaction to the attack on Iran is split along party lines. Nearly all Republicans call the airstrikes long overdue and justified, while Democrats say the strikes violate the US Constitution. Al Jazeera's Roslyn Jordan reports.
Whoa. Yeah, that's interesting.
The administration attacked Iran on Saturday in the middle of ongoing negotiations over Iran's nuclear ambitions and without full consultations with all members of the U.S. Congress beforehand. Nearly all Republicans cheered on President Donald Trump's decision as key to protecting national security. Senate Majority Leader John Thune: I commend President Trump for taking action. House Speaker Mike Johnson: Iran is facing the severe consequences of its evil actions. House Intelligence Committee Chair Rick Crawford: the safety and security of Americans and our allies are on the line. Congressional Democrats, angry that only a small group of legislators were briefed on the possibility of airstrikes last week, called the White House's actions unconstitutional and unnecessary.
Trump says his goal is to topple the Iranian regime, but the American people are tired of regime change wars that cost us billions of dollars and risk our lives.
One Republican, Tom Smassi, says Congress needs to have its say now. I am opposed to this war. This is not America first. The only point of agreement, bipartisan support for the thousands of U.S. forces now deployed in the Middle East, many of them on board the USS Gerald Ford and the USS Abraham Lincoln. Members of Congress are away from Washington this weekend, so unless the Republican leadership calls them back immediately, the earliest they can debate the legality of the Iran airstrikes won't be until Tuesday. Rosalind Jordan, Al Jazeera, Capitol Hill.
Hey, Trump smart, you know. Mighty God, Selva never had David. Trump smart. Trump make sure say them can't them not get brief that I entire Congress, so they can't put up no resistance. You feel what I say? Backside. Trump make up your mind, man. This thing I brew long time still, you know. This thing I brew long time. Let me see my name. Let me see my name go off of Venezuela and Salvanev and Karen. I say, well, look out for anything right now, you know. From yesterday go off of Venezuela like that. Venezuela linked to China. Now then gone and Venezuela linked to Russia too. Now then gone off Iran. Iran linked to who? Russia and China again. Mighty God. We need you. We need you, Father God. Well, Selmanev, we may look upon it, you know. You see these things are up right now. Prophetic, what you call it now? Fulfillment. You feel me I say? Yeah, man. Now I'll come back to this, the live something about we touch one a little bit Marvin. You and Marvin I say. Boy, that's something. Yeah. Marvin Liquefier. You hear me say, because I know some talk about this now. I know some talk about this.
Who supports Israel?
Well, on there.
Who supports Israel? No, I was never one who supports Israel. I don't support Israel with nothing that they're doing. I'm going to say this. Those of you who don't understand geopolitics, who don't understand the Middle East, these jihadists and these people, they don't play. They don't play. So I'm going to say this. Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, Mark Golin, and to all of you who are in that parliament, end all contracts with Israel. Israel will not have the Israeli company that is in charge of our electoral office.
Wow.
Will not have the Israeli company that pretty much is in charge of the technological aspects. The technological aspects of our electoral office. I never supported it. We told you about it. What's happening in Middle East right now with Israel? Please, for the love of God, sever ties with Israel. Israel is a dirty, nasty, evil country.
Whoa.
Sever ties with them now. All right.
Whoa, that was... Whew. Marvin did not mix his words. Damn. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen. Hey, your mama. Lord of mercy. Let me say, Marvin was very short and sweet with that one. I say, I think Israel run TikTok now. I believe Israel run TikTok now. No? Notice how TikTok get extra censored. Yeah, I believe Israel run TikTok now. Yeah. I believe they acquired some shares in TikTok. So, Jamaica, be prepared for what is to come, and for what is to come, be prepared. Draft O, you must be mad. Hey, Selvanev, you go on here. Selvanev say Andrew soon draft if you go in a war. What we do? You must be mad. Trump, not the that. You know what? Me now make you top my head in a Selvanev. Me now make you top my head. Yeah? You can stay there go and talk. Bo. That's funny though. That's really funny. Jamaica going to war in the Middle East. That's really funny. That's funny. That's hilarious. That is hilarious, ladies and gentlemen. Just take another message. Yes. Hello. Welcome, my people. Welcome. Yes, welcome everybody. Welcome. Mark. This requires some serious intelligent moves from Jamaica. I think Andras picked a side, which is gonna be interesting because Andrew is in bed with everybody. As this thing boils down, it's gonna be very interesting. Andrew Ollis is in bed with everybody. All the sides that are against each other. If he's not with an affiliate intimately, right? He's with the enemy. And on the other side, same thing. So he might play every side. No one see why the USA was so active in our waters with all these warships. It wasn't about any jokes. That was just, it was strategic. It was strategic. Strategic movements. Boy, oh boy. Poor local Jamaica. So is this why Andrew Willis decides he's going to have a Ministry of Defense? Too late, bro. Ministry of Defense can't help we. If things was to escalate and come our way, a Ministry of Defense can't help we. What's that going to do? Explain. Explain to me how we're going to anything at all. Mighty God, Jamaica. I don't want to say too much. I'm going to go listen more. I think I sent the link. I think I sent the link to myself. I didn't? Okay, that's fine. I'll find it. Hey, Empress. Good morning. Why, Empress? It's a sad day for the world, man. It's a sad day for the world. That's all I know. Are they still live? Yes, not. Oh, they're not live. Okay. See if I find any more coverage.
It was tribal land, but you got to realize that prior to that the tribes and the Mexicans didn't become Mexicans until the Spaniards were over there having sex with all the indigenous people.
Okay, that conversation.
Have it all. Taking the bear, and when you pull off the cap on the bear, you pour the bear on the ground. I'm talking to the men now. I'm not saying those of you at the garage that can't do it. But it's a regular thing. You pop the cap and you that's witchcraft. Many don't know that. You sprinkle the water, you are a vendor listing, Coronation Market. Alright? And you have the lime and the water, and you sprinkle around and you squeeze lime. That's witchcraft. Understand that. As simple as it looks. That's witchcraft. And I can go on and on. So I'm just showing you how wide these two words are. Pharmakia and Kesed. So that is why what took place during COVID-19 was witchcraft with the rat poison. And there are a number of persons when I speak this way, they hate me, but that's fine. As witchcraft, that was being used during COVID.
People that hear this?
And the Bible has spoken against it. And big farmers, that big pharmaceutical,
what's up, Sassy?
Big pharma, and they control pharmacology and pharmaceuticals and so on. They are among the biggest workers of witchcraft, according to the Bible. Let me put that in. According to the Word of God. And so that is why these days, many of the so-called medications that we will get, instead of helping us to get better, what happens? We really don't get better, really.
True.
Instead of getting better, we get worse, and we have to take others, and the chain reaction continues. Listen, friends, I'm speaking Bible here now. I'm not saying you must not go and get your medication. Listen, I'm not going there. Those of you who can read between the lines and prayerfully make your decisions, fine. But I'm sharing with you what the Word of God refers to as witchcraft. In Isaiah 47 that we read, notice the categories that were mentioned, yes? In case you didn't realize, that's why we read Isaiah 47. Look at the list there. Astrologers, stargazers, monthly
prognosticated, those who also manipulate numbers. And even as I'm talking about gematria, there's a way that you can use numbers, which is tantamount to witchcraft as well. Let me quickly, as I'm mentioning that, how can
Hold on it.
to those who have this habit of
Will you say, Empress? I'm it hearing the man talking. You can't hear the man talking? June, how you doing? Wait, you can't hear it? Maybe I need to go and get the box, you know. I need to, Empress, I need to know exactly what you're saying. Are you saying you can hear it? Oh, I'm not hearing the man talking. Oh, that's the one, right? I'll go for the box. That's confirmation. All right, cool, no problem. Un momento. Give me a second, people. Oh, what a day. All right, so I'm back. Okay, these are file Iran thing, so come back to that. Just book up in some information. Just book up in some information. Wow. Hey, tell a boy. Well, let's explore some things that I didn't know. Talk about you sinning and not knowing you're sinning. Just following customs and practices, not understanding what they mean. Yeah. All right, so it's connected. Perfect. Let me turn it down. Definitely can't have it at that. This should be good. Why is that connecting?
showing you how wide these two words are. For those who have this habit, you're drinking the beer, and when you pull off the cap of the beer, you pour the beer on the ground. I'm talking to the men now. I'm not saying those of you at the garage are called do it, but it's a regular thing.
You know, excuse me, you know how when people drinking rum or any alcohol, they pour out some on the ground first?
You pop the cap and you tip it there. That's witchcraft. Many don't know that.
Never
you sprinkle the water, you are a vendor listing, Coronation Market. Right? And you have the lime and the water, and you sprinkle around and you squeeze lime. That's witchcraft. Understand that. As simple as it looks. That's witchcraft. And I can go on and on. So I'm just showing you how wide these two words are. Pharmakia and Kesef.
So that is why what took place during COVID-19 was witchcraft with the rat poison. And there are a number of persons, when I speak this way, they hate me, but that's fine.
Big Pharma.
That's witchcraft that was being used during COVID. And the Bible has spoken against it. And Big Pharma, that big pharmaceutical entity called Big Pharma, and they control pharmacology and pharmaceuticals and so on, they are among the biggest workers of witchcraft.
Wow.
According to the Bible.
Wow.
Let me put that in. According to the Word of God. And so that is why these days, many of the so-called medications that we would get, instead of helping us to get better, what happens? We really don't get better, really. Instead of getting better, we get worse, and we have to take others, and the chain reaction continues. Listen, friends, I'm speaking Bible here now. I'm not saying you must not go and get your medication. Listen, I'm not going there. Those of you who can read between the lines and prayerfully make your decisions, fine. But I'm sharing with you what the Word of God refers to as witchcraft. In Isaiah 47 that we read, notice the categories that were mentioned, yes? In case you didn't realize, that's why we read Isaiah 47. Look at the list there. Astrologers, stargazers, monthly prognosticators, those...
So you mean like card readers and them people there?
Those who also manipulate numbers, and even as I'm talking about gematria, there's a way that you can use numbers which is tantamount to witchcraft as well. Let me quickly, as I'm mentioning that, how can a genuine born-again believer get involved in witchcraft? What it is called charismatic witchcraft, where you try to manipulate God. You know that God's word says, for example, that stealing is wrong. But then you pray a prayer purportedly to God, asking him. So you're going to thief now, you know, right? You don't make up your mind, say you're going to thief. And now you're going to pray and ask the Lord to help you to be successful in thieving. Whatever you're thieving. I don't need to get into that. That's witchcraft. It's called charismatic witchcraft. Because you are intentionally manipulating. Also, you now pray to Satan, and you now ask Satan to cause someone to get sick or someone to meet in an accident. That is witchcraft, because you are intentionally manipulating the spirit, right? Not the spirit of God, but evil spirit, and you are setting them at someone to cause evil. Intentional manipulation of mixtures and substances, where there are some of you who spread oil of this and oil of that.
My God.
So you tie the man, or you tie the woman, or or you take the hair of someone and do whatever you do with it. That is witchcraft. That's sorcery. The Bible is against it. Necromancy, let me put that on the board, is also a form of witchcraft. Necromancy. If I don't have the time, so I'm stopping shortly, because I can go on and on, but my time is up. So necromancy is a form of witchcraft. Necromancy. So we are just scratching the surface, because there are many other things we need to look at. Necromancy, and what is this? It is an umbrella term, but it has to do with the dead. Has to do with the dead. So communicating with the dead. Right? Communicating with dead. Right? The dead. Oh. So your mother dead, and you talk about your God, and you talk to mama. Mama dead, or daddy dead, and you come here. No. Once the person dead, the person's dead. So when you try now to say you're communicating with the dead, what actually happens is a familiar spirit, Satan, dispatches a familiar spirit that takes on the form of your departed relative, mother, father, auntie, whomever,
Where are you guys watching from? This is interesting. Some of the things that he's saying, I never knew. I never knew that those things were witchcraft. You know, pouring something up on the ground, and I never knew that was witchcraft. You know, when you're living out and you just come see people that do one thing, and you know, you have a beer. I always thought it had something to do with the top of it, the alcohol or whatever, and the froth, and then just pour off the top. No. Later on down the line, when people used to talk about them a true rum and cut and clear and them something there. That the kind of more look like it's alright. You know them way, but Western are doing. I never know. I never know a lot of these things he's saying right now. And I've never engaged in most of them. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've never engaged in 99% of them, but those two, I was like, I didn't know that. Pouring the liquor out or something. Never know so that witchcraft.
And start communicating with you in the same voice. And then you say, oh, mama this and mama that. The devil is a liar. That's necromancy. So that's a form of necromancy. What else is under necromancy? When you also manipulate stuff having to do with the dead. Such as grave dirt.
Oh.
Using grave dirt. And I'm not saying much there because I'm not giving anybody any ideas.
Yes.
Right? Grave dirt. Manipulating grave dirt, for example. Right? To do evil things. Using skull of dead person, right? The skeleton and the bones, skull and bones. Right? Using the clothes of the dead person. So the clothes or personal effects. Clothing or personal effects. Or personal effects of the dead person to do things. Alright? Personal effects of the dead. Good? So once it has to do with the dead, cemetery and all those things, necromancy. Now, witchcraft, intentional magnification. Remember I said, did I put music? Yes. So there are many of the artists who use sorcery and witchcraft in their music. Movies also, let me put it there. Movies. Let me put it further. Products, certain products. Products, including clothing, stuff that you eat also. They are defiled.
When you say stuff where you eat, what is the biggest brand that is consumed in Jamaica? Where are the bright students? Sassy D. What is the biggest brand of food consumed in Jamaica? Ruby, you know the answer? Sassy, Western, Karen. Karen know us, so she didn't even ask Karen if Karen's still there. What is the biggest brand of food consumed in Jamaica? Anybody? Oh my God. Who knows why Juliet was really in the graveyard around election time? Sassy D, that's a good question. That's a good question. Why not make sure to talk to my mother now, because if me pass before her, she can't talk to me and do for me. And if she pass before me, we can't. And if we pass together, no talking now go on. So you better not talk to my mother now, and talk to my father. You got my mother and my father, where now I go on. No talking to the dead, ladies and gentlemen, that is witchcraft. I never know that. Exactly. It's not just chicken, it's which brand. It's which brand, a certain brand, and a very controversial campaign ad. Yes, that raised a lot of eyebrows, and a lot of the things that he's describing was seen in that ad. A lot of the things were seen in that ad that he's describing. Crazy.
They pray over them, cause them to be defiled, and have people eat them, and then when they consume them or wear them, be it an item of clothing, be it something you wear, including hair products, braids and all those things, earrings, necklace, chain, pendants, the list goes on. Okay? And those things are loaded. They are defiled, they are loaded, so that anyone who buys them and wears them, they become defiled and become impacted by the evil spirit. Because what actually happened is that the evil spirit, by buying it, it means that you come into agreement. You come into agreement with those who would manufacture or those who would have made those things available. Wow. And once you come in agreement, you give the evil entities or spirits legal rights to attack you.
Wow.
The man them.
Wow. Jamaica. Since I am up, let me just probe what is happening now, man. Saturday night chill. I'm not sorry.
And for sure, Jamaica. I'll get to class tonight. So an update as to what came in for Cara.
Oh, good night, how you doing? FPV said Iran is free. Antonio, what's up? Please do not read my thumbnails in terms of this topic. When it comes to Iran, Israel, and all of that, I am retarded. I don't even know how this began. I just came on there was a live going on and I was just listening to it. I just found it very interesting, the different arguments on each side, because the news people had each side coming on. You had the Iran support coming on. You had people that support the United States and Israel come on, and everybody was telling you their position. So please don't read my thumbnails wrong, okay? It was just a rush thing, you know. Hey, the USA and pretty much Israel attacked Iran, so you know what I'm saying, or USA attacked Iran, however you want to put it. Iran was attacked. What I'm saying is that do not read too much into my thumbnails. All right, thank you very much. And I am a humanitarian. I believe all lives should be respected. Yes, all lives. All lives. That's what the Lord would require, because the Lord is the only one to take vengeance. Yes.
Let me give you an update. So for the Cash App, $225 came in on the Cash App for Cara. And for the Zelle, just a moment, let me see what Miss Marcia said. $2,033.
Wow.
Came in on the Zelle. You heard that?
Big up. Oh God, I've got to know this. I want to big up the PDTV family. You guys are amazing. No man, you go on good. You go on good. You go on good. You understand what I say? You go on good. You go on good. Respect to the PDTV family. So that again, Andre. This is a part of me come. If you definitely look on.
$3. $2,033 came in on the Zelle.
Wow.
You heard that? What is it?
I'm big up Mark Golin because Mark Golin was the one that started off the night. That's what a leader does, you know. That's what a leader does. Mark Golin lit a fire under the PDTV family. With just a humanitarian response. No, I have to tell you, if there was any doubt that I had about Mark Golin, one, he was watching PDTV. Big up Marky G. He was watching PDTV. That's one. That's one. Secondly, he immediately answered the call. Because you know, special needs is very close to his heart. Helping special needs people. That is a torch he holds proudly. And he holds it high. If I had any doubt in Mark Jefferson Golin, I mean, it's all gone. If there was even a little bit of doubt, the more I see him be him, I'm straight Marky G. The more I see him being a good person. And listen, it's not when it comes down to the socialist, Damian Crawford, same thing. Damian's passion is helping children to develop and to grow through education. It's very important to him. Extremely important. Dr. Dayton Campbell, warrior for the people. Isaac Buchanan, advocate for justice, human rights. Just look at the team. Look at the team. When you look at a Christopher Brown in St. Mary, building through business opportunities for the people of St. Mary, advocating, using his influence. Omar Newell, logistics, info, data driven, very scientific in his approach. St. Mary needs that, you know? St. Mary needs that. Yeah, man. You're talking about agriculture, you're talking about natural resources, in terms of the landscape and everything. You need that type of leadership. There's a very unique, proper fit. When you look at Ian Hills, I'm telling you, PNP had won this election under God. I'm telling you, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. Elizabeth, all the areas that got damaged badly. When you say partner job, right, listen, you would have seen massive expansion of growth, economic growth in these areas. And the hard-working people of Jamaica would have benefited, not necessarily the wealthiest. It wouldn't be about your wealth, because the PNP would be putting people in position to be great, that want to be great. Tell you, big up Andre, salute every time. Big up the PDTV extended family. Big up all of the other members of the society of independent YouTube or social media journalists. Big up on yourself.
Is that $2,033 plus, Nicole said, 225. So let's that 2,033 plus what? 225. So $2,258 thus far. I should get another calculation on the Zelle into tonight, into tomorrow, to know how much additionals we have gotten. So that is 2,258 times. So she has gotten basically $40,000. $340,000 thus far. I'm sure others will be contributing in short order. But there is good news. I wonder if you all want to hear the good news.
Please tell us.
Who wants to hear the good news tonight?
Me.
On my way here, I said I had to come and talk to you all.
Yes.
Good night, Andre. Just spoke to Surgic, head of Surgics, and he will cover the cost for both prosthetics legs for the amount raised. Mighty God. Whoa. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I am not sorry. Good night, Andre.
Wow. Yo, man, listen, bro. Wow.
Right, Andre. Mark Golden spoke to the head of Surgics, and he will cover the cost for both prosthetics legs for the amount raised, even though it's normally over $1 million. Wow. So he'll be sending the banking info, and she will get the 2 legs with liners, etc.
Wow.
I don't have her number, Jamaica. Who could that be? See there, it's a Golding made up commitment of 50,000 last night.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went above and beyond Jamaica. And he said, he spoke with the head of Surgics. So she get 50,000 plus we give 340,000. Basically that's what? 300, basically 400,000. The surgery would have been $1 million, and the head of Surgics write off $600,000 because a man called him by the name of Mark Golding, asking for a favor for a woman. And the man said, whatever money we carry in, she mighty God.
Yo, man, bro. Yo, do that yo. I proudly support Mark Jefferson Cody. It's not the first and it's not going to be the last. I am speechless. The man is just amazing, brother. The man is yo, the man is can you imagine this man in leadership? No, seriously. Just imagine this man in leadership, managing our resources for the benefit of all. Can you imagine? I'm a proud supporter of Mark Jefferson Cody and the People's National Party. I will not apologize. I will not apologize. Proud. These are the things, brother, will warm my heart, man, to the truth. And it's not 600,000 because it's over $1 million if you listen to what Andre said carefully. Normally it's over $1 million. What over is, we don't know. But minimum $600,000 was right off. An immediate need. There was an immediate need. An immediate need for help. Can you imagine Mark Jefferson Golding leading this country, leading the recovery after Hurricane Melissa? You see why I said to people, and I said it before this happened, I was confident that if a People's National Party was running this country after that disaster, trust me, it would be night and day. Right now we're in darkness under the JLP. So you know the night, and of course bright sunshine with a Mark Golding. I tell you, it will be much, much better Jamaica. I have no doubt. I have zero doubt in my mind that it will be way better. You know, I remember in the campaign, Mr. Cousins said something. The man said, I think it was burial. I think it was burial. Hurricane burial. And similarly, there was some level of devastation in terms of, no light and stuff like that. And Virgin, the man linked Mark Golding. Never forget Mr. Cousins talk about it. The man said him linked Mark Golding and the man was in. The man made himself present in the constituency. And I'm telling you, within 24 to 48 hours, there was immediate movement and action. Progressive action within 48 hours, max, minimum 24 hours. Things started to move for the people in that constituency, Mr. Cousins' constituency, Luton Cousins. Yeah. Immediately. I never forgot that rally where Mr. Cousins spoke about it. Immediately, there was change. So I say to you, think about it. And even the Labour them I watch me right now, the 1 or 2 hours I watch me, because I always watch me. I want to say nothing. I want to don't hit the like button. You know some of them, man. Think about that. Think about a Mark Golding as the leader of this country after the people got ravished by a monster of a storm. Hurricane, sorry. Monster. Mark Golding would have really done things way differently, way better than this government is doing it. I'm not ask Christ, bro. I'm not ask Christ, he would have done better. It wouldn't be because of a lack of effort. Let's just say that. It wouldn't be because of a lack of going on beyond. Because you see what he did there. The man started off the $50,000 on Andre's show last night. Pledged 50,000. And then he's like, you know what? No. Boom, boom, boom. Cause, hey man, listen. We need to get this done. What can you do? Oh, Marky G, yeah man. Done. Yeah man. This lady has 3 children, I believe. A farmer. No legs. Works hard. Big up Marky G. Real general, man, I tell you. Real general.
Mighty God.
Real general.
Mighty God.
I tell you.
Jamaica, tell me if that no good. Tell me if that no good,
bro.
Ishmael.
That's great.
Jamaica, tell me if that is not good.
Great.
Tell me if that is not God. Me can tell you some of them are not do it for the people in this country. So if the screen record and make everybody know that this is what Mark and Andre did through the platform called PDTV News Jamaica.
Definitely. Definitely. Powerful, man.
God bless you, Mark.
One Mark.
God bless you, Mr. Golden. See, people are calling already. Hello, good night.
God keep him, man. Tell us, say.
Big up Mr. Golden, Andre. Big up Mr. Golden. He tell us that me was a labor right and me switch to PNP. Big up Mr. Golden, Andre. Big up Mr. Golden. Me are the first one that call that big up Marky G. Thank you, Andre.
All right, my dear. When I saw this message from his assistant, I was like, whoa, whoa, wow. When I saw this message and they said, Andre, thanks for all that you do.
Wow. Wow.
Ishmael, I don't think people understand, you know. There's a frequency that is changing in this country, you know.
Let them know, Andre. Let them know.
There is a frequency that is changing in this country.
Yeah.
And I want to say to those who have ears, let them hear. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Golding. So, Cara, I hope you continue to, if you're not listening tonight, walk good and say to you, do well, do well, do well, Cara. Now, Jamaica, Ishmael is coming to have a nice conversation with you shortly. But before you do, or before he does, it's my duty tonight to speak. Lord Jesus, Lady P, I call. Lady P, good night.
Good night, me boo. God bless you. One market, Mr. Golden, me thank you, me bless you, thank you. May your store boss never empty. PDTV, thank you no. One more arrow strike. God bless you. And God bless the donors them. May your food basket never empty. And may the children never fight. One Marky G, one Andre Tom, and sure. One Andre Steve, me can't talk you. God bless you. You lift me spirit, you lift me heart. What a oh God Almighty. So put me in Prime Minister, sir.
My God, man.
God bless you. Soon and very
God,
soon.
man.
All right.
All
Back
right.
class.
Lady P, bless you.
Lady P, oh, me Lady P. Can you imagine, Jamaica, if this man was our Prime Minister now? Even with this hard time where I got through right now, in the aftermath of the earth, I'm telling you, we would be encouraged. The moral of the country would be lifted. And one of the things I'm sure that Mark Justice Golding would do is recognize the men and women of God and the message that they gave to the leadership. The 3 days fasting, prayer, mourning, and repentance. It would have been recognized. It would have been recognized, Jamaica. Tell you, man. Right.
It's our blooming
Yes,
season.
ma'am.
You
Yes,
know, at church,
yeah, bloom.
at church, me there all day now, Ishmael. And not just church. Today I saw to it that one of my Holy Mothers, I did a photo shoot for her, or you will see very soon. Today, Auntie Claudette did her official photo shoot. So very soon, all of these pictures will be ready to share with you all. I tell you, everybody.
All right, so that's what I wanted to highlight there. Let's go here.
Replace.
So we must look at the replacement value.
Yeah, I mean,
Law and if the resilience.
Hey. Donald Trump no better. Donald Trump no better.
Let me tell you something. You're the thing with Donald Trump. Donald Trump head no good. But America as a country have certain standard where Donald Trump have to try to adhere to. Israel have no standard. So there's a little difference. Me now put Israel and America in the same class.
Yes.
There's a difference. Israel no care who they kill, brother. Israel boom all hospital, school, anything. Them not care, they just fire. America have to try. Because remember now, if America bomb certain place, you know, Donald Trump is going to end up in front of Congress or, you understand?
Yes.
And have to go answer some questions. So there are some standards in America. But Israel have no standards, so why you not partner with Israel in anything at all? When Israel kill anybody, brother?
And Colin, you have people.
Hold on there.
We have a number of clips of one play before we get started.
We have
a number of clips of one play before we get into the thing this morning.
Please.
The full court has again rejected an application by the attorneys for former Education Minister Roel Reid and his co-accused for leave to challenge a ruling by the judge at his fraud trial. The defense had applied to the Supreme Court for a judicial review of...
Why is it that the focus on this Roel Reid case is about throwing on the case, not proving his innocence? Or it is...
We know the answer to that, Colin. He cannot prove his innocence. It's the same thing with Andrew. Andrew focus was to what? Throw out illicit enrichment out of the act. That was one of the things that he asked the court to do. Because he knows he cannot explain how he got his wealth. Much like how Roel Reid will not be able to defend himself in front of the court. So that's why. But it's a good question though. Solid question.
It's a foregone conclusion that Roel Reid and Fritz Pinnock is guilty because all the attempts is about throwing out the case.
Exactly.
Well, let's listen to RJR News reporting on what they said the case is. Listen.
The full court has again rejected an application by the attorneys for former Education Minister Roel Reid and his co-accused for leave to challenge a ruling by the judge at his fraud trial. The defense had applied to the Supreme Court for judicial review of a ruling by trial judge Sancho Burrell, who refused their application to throw out the case. In January, a single judge in the Supreme Court rejected the application, but the attorneys renewed the application before a panel of judges before the full court, maintaining that the judge should have granted them leave to seek judicial review. More in this report from MAGNITSKY Robinson.
During the trial in October last year, the attorneys, led by Hugh Waldman, had contended that the indictment order, the legal document forming the basis of the trial, had only the names Mr. Reid and co-accused Professor Fritz Pinnock and made no direct mention of the other three accused, Mr. Reid's wife, Sharon, daughter Sherelle, and Counsellor Kim Brown Lawrence. Mr. Waldman told the court that this cannot be cured and said the trial is proceeding on an order that is non-existent. He argued that the case should be dismissed as a result, but senior parish judge Sancho Burrell disagreed, ruling that all five accused fall within the ambit of the indictment and that trial will proceed. Mr. Waldman took the matter to the Supreme Court, but on January 16, a single judge dismissed the application for leave to seek a judicial review of the trial judge's decision. The lawyers persisted and renewed their application before a full panel of judges comprising Justices David Batts, Dale Palmer, and Tara Carr. Today, the panel rejected the application. In a stinging rebuke, the full court described the application by Mr. Reid's attorneys as inappropriate and without merit. The panel argued that the indictment in the fraud case...
Want to hear that? The judge sent a stinging rebuking of the attempts of Roel Reid. The court is disgusted with them, you know? The judge is disgusted with their attempts. Jamaica, them in trouble. And I love it. I just want to see the full manifestation of justice being served. They need to set an example of them. The court need to set an example of them. Them is damn out of order. Unbelievable.
This was clear and unambiguous as to who have been charged, the offense for which they were charged, and the information relative to the accused. The court also argued that there was no prejudice to the accused in the indictment. Against this background, the full court said the subject matter is inappropriate for this process, as no question of an excess of jurisdiction has been demonstrated by the applicants, adding that they have alternative remedies opened to them. The full court made it clear that the application by the attorneys in the case is, quote, unmeritorious. They have no arguable ground for judicial review with a real prospect of success. The attorneys for Councillor Kim Brown Lawrence were not a party to the application. Mr. Wildman told Radio Jamaica News this afternoon that the ruling will be appealed. The fraud trial is scheduled to resume on Monday. At the trial, prosecutors told the court that between March 2016 and October 2019, the 5 accused, Reed, his wife Sharon Reed, who was employed to the Caribbean Maritime University CMU as manager of legal affairs, their daughter Sherelle Reed, Councillor Kim Brown Lawrence, and former president of CMU Fritz Pinnock, participated in a scheme with others unknown, which siphoned off more than $25 million from both the Ministry of Education and the CMU. All 5 accused are facing charges of conspiracy to defraud. Mr. Reed and Mr. Pinnock are also charged with acts of corruption. Mr. Reed, his wife, daughter, and Mrs. Brown Lawrence are charged with acquiring and handling criminal property. They're also accused of participating in arrangements to retain those assets. McKinsky Robinson, Radio Jamaica News.
So, anybody know one boy named Sweeney or Weenie, one GLP vlogger, out there talk about corruption, and there's corruption in the opposition. You know that man there? Weenie, you know the man when you're Royal Reed? You know who Royal Reed is? Royal Reed is Andrew Holness's right-hand man.
Right.
Andrew Holness appointed him as a senator. In fact, when Andrew Holness was Minister of Education, Royal Reed was his advisor. And when Andrew Holness became Prime Minister, and named Royal Reed as a senator and named him Minister of Education. Royal Reed is charged for thieving, picking money. Yeah? In front of the court right now.
Disgusting.
Fired by Andrew Holness for stealing. That is corruption, winner. Winner. Because you don't know winner. Win. That is corruption. So, when you're talking about corruption, you have to start right this up.
Trust me.
Right, so you have to start. Winner. Morning, nephew. Hello.
And guess what? The Jamaica Labour Party has not denounced Mr. Reed. They haven't. They have not. He was very cordial with them at Mr. Andrew Holness's when them swear in, the swearing for Andrew. When remember, when him show him face there, he's welcomed amongst the Labourites. The Labourites, them don't show none of them garbage, you know. Them pile up them garbage in them house. So it's a nasty situation, you understand? Yeah. Yeah man, them keep them filth one place and them eat the same way. Politically that is. That's how they work. They don't clean.
Morning, my brother. How you doing, man? How is life with you, man?
Life is...
US and Israel attack Iran for war.
Hey, you see, nephew, you see Israel, you know me and Israel. We don't know why anybody would have get involved, would have be a partner with Israel in anything. Because you realize one of the news said they bomb a school. They bomb a school.
But nephew confused. Nephew is confused. What do you mean? Why people that would have partner with Israel? Andrew Holness partner with Israel. Andrew Holness is the only leader in the Caribbean that went to Israel unannounced. Nobody never invited him there. Nobody never invited him there. Nobody never invited him there. Andrew Holness has gone above and beyond. Being a puppet leader is concerned. The man is truly a political prostitute. No backbone. Loose. Loose.
Since who then dead already, no Colin?
Israel no care. Israel no business about life. Israel killed baby, old lady, cripple, lame, lazy. Israel is a murderer country.
Donald Trump no better, Colin.
Eh?
Donald Trump no better. Donald Trump no better.
Let me tell you something. Here's the thing with Donald Trump. Donald Trump head no good. But America, as a country, have certain standard where Donald Trump have to try to adhere to. Israel have no standard. So there's a little difference. You know, put Israel and America in the same class.
Yes.
There's a
Mary, I have no idea. What I can say broadly is that Jamaica is going to be affected. The world is going to be affected by this. The world is going to be affected by this. And let me, you know what? I was supposed to play something else regarding that, since we're on the topic. Marvin did a couple of videos on it, but one of them specifically, he talked about the situation in Iran. So yeah, I think it's this one.
World War III has begun. World War III has begun. So the supreme leader, Ayatollah, for Iran has been confirmed dead. A strike from a US missile while apparently he was at worship. It's their holiday, Shabbat, in Jamaica.
I'm not sure about the religious. They are Muslims, correct? Crystal, how are you doing? So he was praying and they took him out.
Wow. Adventist them called for them on Sabbath. And he never expected them to attack on a holy day like that. Israel knew, because it's a be holy people and holy war, them people are fight.
Yo, let me tell you something. This is not going to end. This is not going to end. It's not, bro. This ain't going to end, bro. I don't see how this ends. I really don't. I'm sorry.
America.
I don't see how this ends.
Or Donald Trump. Let me say Donald Trump, because Donald Trump did not get any congressional approval to carry out the strike. Donald Trump has been acting on his own with a bunch of idiots around him, stirring up war across the entire globe. Yeah. Now, you don't just kill the supreme leader for Iran and think that the war is over. These people already have a successor, and their successors have to prove themselves to be firm. Now, while some persons in Iran might be celebrating the death of their supreme leader, it doesn't negate the fact that the regime that's down there is a different regime. They don't play. They just fired a missile in Dubai's international airport. Iran fired that in Dubai, the UAE, Dubai International Airport. A lot of people are there. America just blew up an elementary school for girls. Elementary mean basic school.
Jesus.
In Jamaica, we say basic school.
Wow.
170 odd girls go to the school. More than 51 confirmed dead.
Whoa.
By US missile.
Yo, this is not going to end. I'm sorry. This is not going to end. This is not going to end. This is not gonna end, bro. Yeah, you can lock it down. Yeah, this is not gonna end. This is gonna be an all-out type of situation. Yeah. The entire world is gonna be in chaos right now because of this. Yeah. This is not gonna end. I'm telling you. Like, bro, like, let's use your common sense, right? Regardless of what side you might be on. If you do that to a people, especially like those people, you gotta be definitely expecting the fight of your life. Like it's up and it's stuck forever. I can't see, I really can't see there being peace between these nations. Yeah, like the disregard for innocent life is ridiculous. Like the total disregard for innocent life is ridiculous. And of course, they're gonna point fingers at each other where that is concerned. You know? I'm certain of it. One is gonna say, but this, the other is gonna say, but that. Well, guess who suffers? Everybody in the middle. Like us here in Jamaica and other countries. I didn't know it was that bad either. That's why I went on this video, because I heard a piece of it on Talking My TV. Big up Talking My TV. And I was like, what? I was like, wait, what?
And Donald Trump did not get congressional approval. Let that sit in. And we still don't know why is it the persons in the Epstein files, yeah, are not yet arrested, including Donald Trump. Now, I don't know what America is doing, but Donald Trump did not get congressional approval for what he carried out in Venezuela. And he did not get congressional approval for what he's now doing with Iran. I really don't know what the United States of America is doing, but one thing I can say to you, at some point, you don't just go around bombing everybody and expect that you're going to live comfortable and happy for the rest of your life. Now, it's really sad that innocent lives in America could be lost because this war is not yet over. Terrorist attacks are going to go through the roof. Iran, Iraq, and these places, they don't end wars. They live for wars. Russia, China, North Korea, South Africa, these people are in support of Iran. Iran is an ally to them. China and Russia had sent over military grade stuff, drones, missiles, and what have you, to assist them with the war. Now, brace yourselves because it gets worse. Now, some of you might not be concerned about what's down there because you're saying, well, they're in the Middle East.
That is stupid. If you are out there thinking, man, I don't care about that. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. All right. Boy, you are in for it, boy. If you have that type of mindset, I know karma is going to hit you where you least expect it. You better be concerned. You better start praying for peace. You better start praying for peace. That's what you need to do. All right? Oh, so Rubio was justifying the strikes on the boats in the Caribbean. Oh, that's why he was there. Okay. According to Krista. Hey, man, listen. Hey, cockroach and business is not full fight, huh? I'm gonna be stating the obvious where this is concerned. None of this will end well. None of it will end well. None of it.
Affecting me, I'm going to go to my party. You need to understand that 1/3 of the oil that is supplied to the rest of the world passes through something they call the Strait of Hormuz. I can't pronounce the name properly, but yeah, something like that. Or Hormuz. I think the Strait of Hormuz. That is controlled by the Iranian people, and they just closed it. It's a channel through which ships are sailed. Ships carrying cargo, carrying oil. So a lot of you who would have been expecting oil and cargo and stuff from there, you must understand that there's going to be a significant delay. And depending on how long this war is, a lot of us could go back to Stone Age.
Damn.
Donald Trump knew that this was going to be a possibility. And that's why he went ahead.
True, that's true, Sassy. Yeah, prophecy has to be fulfilled. That is true.
Strategically.
I actually led this live with that thing. When I first started speaking about it, I spoke about how prophecy has to be fulfilled. Yeah, better.
Being the pirate in the Caribbean by stealing Venezuela's oil ships. And now wanting to sell Venezuela's oil, which is piracy. It doesn't matter how you look at it. Every leader in the world needs to condemn what just happened. Bahrain, which is also in the Middle East, the US military base that's there got bombed up or blown up by Iranian missiles. They are going to blow up every single US base down there. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop even if you kill them down to the last one. The last one will fight. That's the kind of people we're messing with. Anyways, go to your parties, enjoy life, because a lot of you don't have a clue. Oh, and by the way, this means further crash to the US dollar. So the economic crisis that's about to be unfolded from what's happening now, if you can get wood and charcoal, get it, stock it, buy up as much non-perishable things, plant what you can plant now, because a lot of us are about to go back to the Stone Age. Some people think that you're exaggerating because they have not been following this and they don't understand the significant detriment that this has on everybody. But this is just Marvin's opinion. Who am I? Just a little guy from Jamaica on the internet. All right? Enjoy yourself. Big up on yourself.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think about what Marvin is saying? Marvin is looking at the end game of, yeah, it's all about to go crazy. The type of people that they're fighting, I mean, he's not lying. Those people never give up. Alright? Never. They definitely hold a grudge. Definitely hold a grudge. I don't know, man. This is very, this is a sobering time. You know, we take things for granted. A lot of us take a lot of things for granted in this world. And unfortunately, when you really start to appreciate those things, it's pretty much when we don't have access to it anymore. Ain't that a damn shame? Ain't that a damn shame, ladies and gentlemen?
No, I was never one who supports Israel. I don't support Israel with nothing that they're doing. I'm going to say this. Those of you who don't understand geopolitics, who don't understand the Middle East, these jihadists and these people, they don't play. They don't play. So I'm going to say this. Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, Mark Golding, and to all of you who are in that parliament, end all contracts with Israel. Israel will not have the Israeli company that is in charge of our electoral office. Will not have the Israeli company that pretty much is in charge of the technological aspects. The technological aspects of our electoral office. I never supported it. We told you about it. What's happening in Middle East right now with Israel? Please, for the love of God, sever ties with Israel.
Some unknown, good morning. I just saw your message. How you doing? Yeah, man. Sassy D pretty much said it. Get saved, everybody. Get saved. That's it. That's it. Get saved. The world is going to become very, very chaotic. Very uncertain. Yeah, get saved. We used to struggle, start planting food in our backyard. The apostle did tell us about pumpkin and melons. Karen and other prophets and prophetess told us about storing water. A drought is coming, according to Mati Samuda. Be prepared. Be prepared. Hey, Guta. Hey, at this point, I'm not even debating that. Whatever it is, it is. All right? I'm saying this whole thing is not going to end. And it's going to affect the entire world negatively. And it was prophesied. Yeah. Remember, China, BRICS, Iran, China, Russia, Brazil, BRICS. And BRICS has been inviting other countries to come along. This is so big. What is happening right now is so big. It's Amen.
Israel is a dirty, nasty, evil country. Sever ties with them now.
Marvin, I think it's too late for that when it comes on to this government. I think it's way too late. Like I said, Andrew Holness is the first leader of Jamaica to just go to Israel uninvited and go and see the leader personally. Even the leader was shocked, like, okay, my brother. All right, what's going on? Talk to me. I didn't know you were coming. Next thing you know, there's a lot of Israel activity in our government, in our electoral process. I'm just telling you the facts, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Just the facts. These are the facts. Need a release. Ministry of Foreign Affairs and CARICOM Affairs and Development. The government of the Republic of Trinidad wishes to express its support for the actions of the United States of America and its allies aimed at preventing oppressive regimes from acquiring nuclear weapon capabilities that would jeopardize international peace and security. The proliferation of such weapons is a grave threat not only to regional stability in the Middle East, but also to the global community as a whole. Whoa. So this is a release from Trinidad. Okay. Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs. Wow. No wonder Trinidad was invited to the meeting. No, Andrew, you know, so I got pray for you tonight. Genuinely. I got pray for you tonight. Pray say I have some sense and, you know, just bow down to the Master. The only Master. Almighty God. Bow down in genuine repentance, man. Hey, me know, Crystal, listen. This is war now, so strategic moves are being made. Right? Somebody said prayer can't help Andrew. I still have a prayer for him, you know? Because it'll get real right now. Oh, we don't want nothing to Andrew. More than he face justice. We don't want nothing to him. We don't want nothing to Andrew physically. Well, Andrew face justice in front of the courts. But him really put himself and our country in a very terrible place. Because I wonder why I'm going to make Ministry of Security. Ministry of Defense. I wonder why I'm going to make Ministry of Defense, you know. What Andrew out there? Listen to me. Oh, Jesus. Bob Marley say, don't fear don't fear their atomic energy, because none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? All I ever ask, redemption songs. Yeah, Emily, I don't eat burgers. Yeah. Is this a subscriber only chat? Oh, it's not. Oh, I'm gonna fix that. Now I understand why I'm seeing some trolls in here. Yeah, we just fixed that. Which movie is that? Sassy, just send me the link to the movie, man. Send me the name of the movie, man. Shama. Send me the name of the movie, man. Back to this.
That difference. Israel not care who they kill, brother. Israel boom all hospital, school, anything. Them not care, they just fire. America have to try. Because remember now, if America bomb certain place, you know, Donald Trump is going to end up in front of Congress or, you understand?
Yes.
And have to go answer some questions. So there are standards in
Yes.
America. But Israel have no standards, so why you not partner with Israel in anything at all? When Israel kill anybody, brother?
And Colin, people say they are closer to God than the rest of us. Israelis are closer to God.
You have to understand the Bible.
Why you give me a liquid a big stone Sunday last week, Sunday gone, boy? You put me for a few days, man.
Wait, see, your arm to mash up, you have your walk and a hop. But hold on, nephew. You don't see me a defend and wellness?
When?
You don't see it? You don't see it, Cliff? Eh? Nephew, let me tell you something, nephew. You see me as a Jamaican, nephew?
Yeah.
Me will cuss the Prime Minister, you know?
Yes.
Me will cuss the Prime Minister. But you don't want nobody, a foreign, ramp with my Prime Minister. You understand? And when this congressman will come out about Jamaica will face consequences based on what Andrew said, the blood of Jesus is against you.
Yes,
and we plead the blood that, you hear me, no, man?
Yes, man. Yes.
Andrew said nothing that is wrong. For anybody come and talk about Jamaica will face consequence. The blood against your congressman.
Thank you, Mr. Ben. What we want to do, you're going to have Ralston this morning?
Yes, at about 9:30, and we're going to have Isaac Buchanan at about 10:15.
Ask Ralston for me what do you think if this thing in the Middle East extricate, would it affect Jamaica?
Right now?
Economy.
Geopolitics affect everybody here, man, and the world because you know,
Hi, Sassy 81, how you doing, love? Appreciate you. You're up late. Sassy, I really would have loved for you to call in because you're an army farmer vet, right? You're a vet, and you know, you're an American as well. You're a mother, you're a wife. I would love to hear what you think of the situation with Iran and Israel. Like I tell everybody, this one is different for me. Like, I'm looking at it from the perspective of this is gonna go south. And how do we position ourselves and maneuver ourselves for the worst? That's where my mind is. A lot of people is, their views on it is like, okay, you know, America should not have done that. Iran is dangerous, and if we leave them, they're going to become these monsters that want to wipe out the rest of it. You said this is a mess that we are not prepared for. There you go, a vet. That's a vet right there. So this is a mess that America is not prepared for. If I was thinking about America from America's perspective, really and truly maintaining peace is always the best policy. Yeah, we definitely living in the last days. Anybody that says otherwise, I don't know what to tell y'all. But anyway, I don't even have time to argue about that. Time is a very expensive commodity right now. So if you guys see me communicating differently, it's because I am going to measure my communication moving forward. Yeah, this is a very serious time now. Everything is about to go up. It's up and it's stuck, Jamaica. It's up, and that they say in America, it's up and it's stuck. You know, people talk a lot about, like, you know, people in the street when they have conflicts, and you have persons that are gaslighters that, pretty much push conflict. And I could tell you, for me, I'm always the voice in the wind saying, nah, man, listen, let's calm down. I'm not gonna say always, almost always, because I get angry too, and I have my moments. But mostly it's very measured, and those moments are very, very rare. Very, very rare. But listen, if I'm looking at it from the USA perspective, like peace, yeah, we're gonna do everything in our power to maintain that. And still be vigilant and keep an eye on our enemies. Here's why. A lot of people are in the country that are not vetted. A lot of people crossed over in the border in America that are not vetted. ICE has been doing what ICE has been doing, but I don't think ICE has scratched the surface. So, when you're talking about immediate threats, look right in the USA. Don't look so far overseas. Look right in the USA. I'm telling you. And everybody needs to have God's protection over them moving forward. We'll be in a minefield of spiritual warfare, which is then going to be manifested physically, obviously. We need solid angels, like blocking danger from us, literal danger from us. You see me? Yeah, and I said it, I said it when the Biden administration was just letting people in. I said, what are they doing? Bro, what are you guys doing? But some people might say, you know what? They low-key working together. You know what I'm saying? People might say, yo, man, listen, they playing good cop, bad cop. That's why I would love for Jamaica to have like 3 or 4 legitimate political parties. Like legit. And when it comes down to funding, I would want to put a lid on funding coming from big corporations. I would try to regulate that in such a way where those big organizations wouldn't have too much influence on the political party, whether privately or in our faces. You get me? So, yeah, that's one of the things I was pretty I was pretty mindful of with the United States when Biden was in power. Like, man, this dude is just, oh yeah, come on in. Yeah. Who are you again? Oh, we don't care. We don't know. But yeah, come on. Are you part of a certain group that hates Americans? Don't answer that. It's fine. Come on in. Come. Let's go. Yeah. Just any country that does that, your mental, fam. Like, your leadership mental. If Israel did it, they're mental. If Iran did it, they would be mental. Any country that does that, like, let in people that could potentially be agents of your worst enemy, not vetted, don't know what type of skill set they got. You know what I'm saying? What type of resources? They don't know. And they just opened the floodgates and people was coming from all sides, you know what I'm saying? North, south, whatever. People was coming in drones. Everybody not a criminal, but ask the people who traversed and went out their way to try and get into America, how many people they saw that didn't make it, how many children they saw get abused, girls, boys, you name it, men and women, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of that was chaotic, but now it's like, yeah, it's probably gonna be worse, son. Probably gonna be
Iran a fling bomb over Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Qatar, Kuwait. Iran will fling bomb on everybody.
And ask Mr. Buchanan for me. That meeting he have the NWA have in Port Antonio dealing for the bypass.
Yes.
I noticed not representative from the other side were not there, and I want to know if they were invited.
What am I going to do?
I beg your pardon?
Why would they need to be there? If we create problem like where Tough and creators and here we done? It's one thing nobody can say about Anne-Marie Vaz, you know. From Anne-Marie Vaz lose, Anne-Marie Vaz leave East Portland, she don't come back. Nobody can say Anne-Marie Vaz don't there cause no problem. One thing nobody can say.
That is true. No, and no man action, and once she was booted out of action, all action stopped. Yeah. You have to give her that. She went out the way to not be in the way. That is a fact. Unlike Michelle Charles, enough. What the hell is that? Oh, that's my computer. Why is it doing that? Hold up there.
About her.
Computer so like it got explode.
The Mia should have been there. The Mia know about it. Nobody never need to invite the Mia.
No, not know about. I want to find out if they were invited. They have jail these three.
The meeting, hold on. The meeting was not called by Isaac Buchanan. You know. The meeting was called by the NWA. So I am sure that Steve Shaw in his capacity would have reached out to everybody. And I think there was also, there was also a town cry going around announcing that the meeting would be held. You understand?
And ask Mr. Buchanan if he wants to determined to serve Islam because the town of Port Antonio stay too bad.
No man, the town turned bad for 2 months. But guess what? That show you that Anne-Marie Vaz did that shit.
Yeah.
Then hold on. How long no Buchanan MP? Hold on. How long no Buchanan MP? How long no Isaac MP?
About 6 months.
About 6 months. So you're telling me, say, within the 6 months that's how the town deteriorate? You never hear me cuss about the town long before? Eh? You never hear me cuss about the town before?
Mr. Buchanan is the NP.
Yes, and him have to fix it. I remember, hold on. I invited him on this program to talk about the state of the town. And you know what we see him do with it? We see him put out a video where they show all of the place them with the garbage now collect, you know. Him do that, you know.
Him is the NP, him have a responsibility to get in touch with their authorities.
Hold on. Garbage collection.
Want to see all the dirty labor at them stay? You know, when I'm talking about responsibility, Isaac Buchanan party there in a power. You see them dirty and stay? Isaac Buchanan is doing the best he can with the limited resources he's offered by the government. You see all the dirty labor at them stay? I mean, I talk about the one that was dirty. If it's not a dirty labor right, the cap don't fit you, don't try and wear it. Alright?
Sean, is a responsibility of the council. The mayor is Paul Thompson, who is a labor right mayor. You ever hear him opening mouth about it? Isaac Buchanan come on this program, we discuss it. He put out a video that shows us see that the garbage now collect. We need the garbage we collect. What have you heard from the mayor?
Nothing.
The mayor is collecting our money under false pretense.
Well, I'm not going to say I'm not false pretense, but he's well paid.
And he's not doing jack shit. Big up yourself, nephew.
Okay. Yeah, man, nephew, you definitely sink your own party with your nonsense when you come talk this talking about Isaac Buchanan. And the place is in a bad state. Then I will make it in a bad state. The previous, the JLP was in power and an MP for the JLP was there and it's in a bad state. And Isaac Buchanan have a responsibility. Man, shut up. Where was that energy when Action Anna was there? I think that 6 months to take the place, Masha. So Isaac Buchanan does not have the excuse of Hurricane Melissa, only the JLP in a film constituency. So the rule of thumb in blaming Hurricane Melissa for the dilapidated state of a constituency does not apply to PNP MPs. It only applies to the ruling government that controls the budget. You guys are pathological, diabolical hypocrites. Unfreaking believable. No, man.
The mayor not doing anything. The mayor for Port Antonio A dead stock, collecting our taxpayers' money and now perform. Wanna hear Orius Chang? Orius Chang. How many people were killed in violent circumstances last year in Jamaica? And I ask how much people were murdered. How many people were killed in violent circumstances in 2025 in Jamaica? We'd love to hear that figure. That figure. We want to hear. Colonel Charles Jr.
The Supreme Court has again.
Not that. Colonel Charles Jr. say that them pay out 5 billion. No, not 5 billion they pay out already. Hey, that's a lot of money.
Occupant Family Shelter Roofs program has surpassed the 50% mark. Over $5 billion of the $10 billion allocation has been paid out to beneficiaries. Minister of Labor, Colonel Charles Jr., says the milestone was achieved on Thursday in St. James with a payout of $921,375,000 to residents whose houses sustained damage during Hurricane Melissa.
No, we have not even reached March. And I want to announce today, for the first time anywhere in the world, that I am advised. That's a lawyer in me protecting myself. I am so verily advised that duly understand that we have finally, we have moved past the 50% mark of that $10 billion. I can say to you that we have distributed, as of today, $5,219,175,000 to persons who need support.
Beneficiaries in Trelawney also started receiving their payouts on Thursday. Minister Charles has reiterated that there is a system in place to prevent duplication in the payments.
What happens if you have two persons who signed up their name from the same house? And I'm not saying that you did so to try to get double money. Some of you maybe weren't at home the same day and you didn't know. But some of you did know and you tried anyway to see if you could get a little extra money. Yes, it happened. What happens to you? If both of you had signed up, what you have done is you have slowed down your process. So you did yourself a disservice. So that's something that we have to go investigate to make sure that we're not duplicating. When we duplicate, we have less money to give the persons who deserve it.
Minister of Labor, Colonel Charles Jr.
So I have invited Mr. Charles on this program, and I will send him another invite. And one of the questions I will ask you, Mr. Charles, if you give me the chance. Do you think that this money, over $5 billion, or the $10 billion that you intend to pay to people, do you think that this will be sufficient to make these people, or to put these people in a position that when the next storm comes, either this year or next year at a category 5 or 3 and upwards, would this put them in a position to be resilient to that category 3 upwards? That's the question.
Great question.
Because I realize the government stopped talking about resilience.
Yes, true.
And they're just now giving 75,000, 200,000, 500,000.
Yeah.
Is that money adequate to put the people them in a better position, or this money is just to put zinc over them heads so that rain no wet them and night dew no wet them? It needs more than that. And as I say, I'm the biggest critic.
I can't answer that. I mean, no. The money is not adequate. It's not adequate. It's a no-brainer. You understand? It's just not adequate.
Of Prime Minister Andrew Holness. But when him right. When him right. I'm a Jamaican. When it come down to it, I defend my Jamaican. So this speech by Andrew Holness, me I defend this.
Address the situation in Cuba with clarity and courage. Cuba is our Caribbean neighbor. Its doctors and teachers have served across our region. Its people are part of our shared history. But today, the Cuban people face severe economic hardship, energy shortages, and growing humanitarian strain. Jamaica is sensitive to the struggles of the Cuban people. Humanitarian suffering serves no one. Apart from our fraternal care and solidarity with the Cuban people, it must be clear that a prolonged crisis in Cuba will not remain confined to Cuba. It will affect migration, security, and economic stability across the Caribbean basin. It is therefore important that we carefully consider this matter and take collective action. Let there be no doubt, Jamaica stands firmly for democracy, human rights, political accountability, and open market-based economies. We do not believe that long-term stability can exist where economic freedom is constrained and political participation is limited. Sustainable prosperity requires openness to ideas, to enterprise, to investment, and to the will of the people. This moment, therefore, calls not for rhetoric, but for responsible statecraft, even as we encourage support for humanitarian relief. Jamaica supports constructive dialogue between Cuba and the United States aimed at de-escalation, reform, and stability. We believe there is space, perhaps more space now than in years past, for pragmatic engagement that protects the Cuban people from any further deterioration in their circumstances and instead promotes national and regional prosperity. Friends, colleagues, as it has been said, the geopolitical environment is shifting. Maybe it has already shifted. This may well be a moment of opportunity, a moment for transition, for recalibration, for a new chapter. CARICOM can play a constructive role, not as an ideological bloc, but as a community of democratic states offering cooperation, economic reform, and social development. This is not a moment for division in our community. It is a moment for maturity, for principled realism, and if we act wisely, for positive change in our hemisphere.
So, what in that? Prime Minister Andrew Willis said that would upset anybody in America. What in that, as he said? But I tell people, anything where you say happen to one man, don't tell yourself it can happen to you. It can happen to you. And that's why small developing nations must speak and call for the rule of law, because it's the only thing that can protect small nations like us.
Yes.
The rule of law.
True.
And if the rule of law is not abide to, anything goes. Now, Dean Jackson Miller read what the congressman said about this statement. Listen to it.
I harshly condemn this and find it lamentable that the JLP would cover up for the moribund dictatorship in Cuba when the Castro regime repeatedly intervened in Jamaica's politics to exacerbate partisan tensions and undermine the JLP. Jamaica will face the consequences.
What consequences? The blood of Jesus is against you, and you're an idiot. Andrew Holness speaking at the Caribbean heads of government is not a labor rights speech, but this man is a labor right. Labor right there, but wait, it's an international labor right this. The guy is a fool, Andrew Holness is speaking as Prime Minister of Jamaica. The Jamaican Constitution does not recognize political parties, sir. Yeah? And how then do we have friendly relationship with America that team up with Eddie Siaga in the 80s, in the 70s to starve the Jamaican people? You don't know that?
I harshly condemn this and find it lamentable that the JLP would cover up for the moribund dictatorship in Cuba when the Castro regime repeatedly intervened in Jamaica's politics to exacerbate partisan tensions and undermine the JLP. Jamaica.
Yo, let me tell you. You see, I did a reaction to that. We say, talk your mind, say America, right? Andrew in his speech. No, seriously though, Andrew is just in a rock and a hard place. The congressman knows why he's saying what he's saying. You understand? We're gonna have to agree, but you know why he must say what he must say. He pretty much exposed the Jamaica Labour Party. He never said the government, he said the JLP. He knows why he said what he said. And Portland Spice actually answered her own question by talking about the connection with the JLP and America to destabilize Jamaica, to get rid of, I think it's Michael, right? So, you answer your own question. That's why they want to talk about the JLP, so the man understand the history. So, it's like, hey, slave, get in line. That's why I'm talk to Andrew like that. And that's why I mentioned JLP. Hey, slave, get in line. You know you are bootlicker. Alright? That's the energy he's giving to Andrew. Oh, consequences. You have to get a whooping. Or else like, oh, we have your secret type of vibe. I got the energy that you get. I don't know about honesty. And you can't tell me honesty. You know, somebody said to me, say, they watch me on the app and they say, yo, hey, say, yo, Papa TikTok, say, yo, yeah, joke kind of. I mean, I say, yo, but we're not a joke. Most people say I joke, I'm literally not joking, guys. I'm not a joke, but hey, you know, if you put a smile on your face and you get the message, that's a plus, right? Vernal, what's up?
Will face the consequences.
And you're talking about dictatorship. Why is America then doing business with China? Isn't China a dictatorship? Sir, you're an hypocrite and an idiot. The blood of Jesus is against you. What are you talking about? That's why I'm going to team up with Israel. Israel. Eh? But you know, they said that anything America does, them will do what benefit them. Truth of the talk, you know. Truth of the talk. Morning, caller. Hello, morning.
Morning.
Yes, sir.
To you and your listeners and all the people in the chat room.
Bless up, man.
Yeah, man, I have three quick things. I like what you're saying. Enough time I tell man, from your little youth, I tell man, say anything will happen to one man in this earth can happen to anybody.
Anybody at all. Yeah, man.
Because a man can free me, a man can free me and God get innocent.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, talk about, man.
All right, so past that. Now, three little quick things. One, that for the thing with company TV where people can demonstrate our Western stuff. And the woman say, 3/4 of them don't get no birth certificate. Did you hear that?
Yeah, man.
Huh?
Yes.
How them vote?
You don't have your birth certificate to vote.
Then how you have your name? And they said they're not have the right name.
Listen.
She said they're not have no name.
Hold on. When you go to the electoral office, you don't have to present no birth certificate. You never know.
You present ID.
You don't have to present ID. No, man. You never know that.
That's how you do.
You just go, tell them your age, tell them your name, and them take your information, and then
But them they now have name verification.
Yeah, man. They know that not tell you now. When you tell them your address, then them come in your yard, come verify, say this is where you live.
They don't verify nothing else. That's where you live. They don't verify name. No.
If them doubt your age, they might ask you for your birth certificate. If they doubt your age, and that's an if.
But for them have proof of age and they not birth certificate.
Let me ask you, you understand well? If they doubt your age, if that means them no must doubt your age. So once you look like you past 18, then just do you your thing.
That means system overhaul. System overhaul.
Well,
you have no. She also said, you put for them they don't know right name, so they just call them anything. No, she said. A key thing she said was crucial. She said then done.
Yeah.
She actually said mostly right there.
What about them can't read?
Exactly. And if you come down there with school. Somebody want to know what Tivoli conference is for.
Colleen, hold on. Colleen said no calling them asked for TRN and birth certificate. Colleen, no. No.
Well, I think they have some from ID.
No.
Numerator of party. Numerator of party, you know.
I remember I am in the political system. Yeah, and I send people to numerate. I take people to numerate. I am in the system.
You know. Eh? Night time, I did one I cameraman them days. Then I said late 70s, early 80s.
You used to work with DOJ?
Yeah, man, and take picture and everything there.
Okay. You don't have to have no birth certificate. You don't have to have no birth certificate. They don't normally ask for birth certificate.
You hear me?
Eh?
I did one at Danny Buck right hand, man.
Okay, cool. All right. What's the other point?
Yeah. All right, next point now. With respect to the money thing, the man I say 50% time money hand out, and it's like a first time in the world anything like this ever. But how much money you hand out?
You know, so that's what he was about to say, though, when him say I was advised. And that's why he didn't go, you know. But, you know, but I go there. He just talk about the money.
You notice that they do mobile. Most of mobile go labor right. You go to Chilani. Most of Chilani go labor right. And you get sent.
St. Elizabeth. Westmoreland finished. But Westmoreland have more damage, you know. More people get damage at Westmoreland and Hanover. Yeah? So, this might take a little more time to sort out. But is that money adequate? That's the question I want to ask him. If he think that is adequate or that will bring around resilience that the government been talking about.
My question is to ask him, man. Man, if you maximize the use of money, man, and stop, have back, get 100 million and give out 10 and keep back 90. Yeah, we're get the money for use for a house. And give back people them dwelling. People still are sleeping in a car and still asleep on the tarpaulin.
Yeah, and then when you give a man $200,000 for put on back a roof, will that roof be in a position to withstand the next hurricane? That's the question, you know, brother.
Nope.
And that's why Ralston said that the damage down and west, the government responsible for it because the government squander the gains of the country and never use the money to develop the infrastructure, to develop proper housing for the people of Jamaica. This government is a squander government. They continue to squander taxpayers' money.
I agree 100%. Next thing now, and finally, we don't really deal with injustice. I don't my parish income from. My father really. I'm just a people damn with my father. Anyway, no, CIA did involve in the 80s. And I'm saying, declassify things themselves.
Yes, man, of course, that's a fact. That's not an opinion.
It's a fact.
So me this idiot congressman come out and chat.
Just like when they did it, when they doing South America, you know, Argentina.
Holy place, man. Jamaica was one of the few, one of many places.
And I will tell you, on the record, that's never interfere in our election.
Not that I know. Castro and Manley are the friends, so Castro assist Jamaica with a whole heap of things, build school and college.
No, even, why do you think athletics so good now? CCMGC faster?
Of course.
One of the best pool in the Western Hemisphere.
Let me tell you something. If it was not for the embargo on Cuba, maybe Cuba would be greater than America.
Whoa.
Of course. But what may I say too? Enough people are reason this thing out in our college. When I got school, I one teacher teach me football, cricket, athletics, everything, you know. One. You know, in a year time, I saw it.
Yeah, one teacher teach you football, cricket, athletics.
Yeah, the PE teacher, multi. That's a fact. Same thing for me. That's a fact.
Maths, English, science, life skills. Yeah, man. Excellent. Teacher named Ian Mangaroo. You have to big him up every time. Excellent teacher.
Nowadays, you have one coach for shot put, one for long jump, one for juggling, one for this, one for that. How them come about?
GC Foster, courtesy of Cuba.
Colin, have a great day. Enjoy your weekend.
Blessings, my brother. One love. So, Horace Chang said, civil society in Jamaica live off of blood money. Coupon Horace Chang. Coupon Horace Chang too. My God. Horace Chang said, police are...
I condemn this and find it I harshly condemn this and find it lamentable that the JLP would cover up for the moribund dictatorship in Cuba when the Castro regime repeatedly intervened in Jamaica's politics to exacerbate partisan tensions and undermine the JLP. Jamaica will face the consequences.
So Andrew Wallace spoke as a GLP at the heads of government or as Prime Minister? Really? Really?
You didn't know such thing. What Prime Minister was start? Yeah, man, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, I hear you now.
Yeah, what Prime Minister did was carry the American position. You have to move to more democratic thing and a more market-based economy if you want to survive. That is what Marco will do.
And Trump now said that they might do a friendly takeover of Cuba. What is that?
There can be no friendly takeover. What they want the regime change to go back to having Cuba as America's playground during the days of Fulgencio Batista. It's simple.
But how then, Raleigh, does this make sense? America is doing business with China, aren't they?
Yeah, well, it doesn't make sense. It's a game of power and can't tell Xi Jinping nothing. But Cuba is seen as a small, helpless nation. So it's a game of power. They just using power to abuse the people who are weak. You can't talk to Putin like that. You can't talk to Xi Jinping like that. You can't talk to Kim Jong-un like that. So it's a game of power. The man who have nuclear, the bad man, you can't talk to them, man. You have to deal with them same way, but them same countries are little fries where them can run up on them too. Just as simple as that. It's a game of power. The whole thing is having to do with power.
Those countries
Nuclear
you just
power.
mentioned.
Why think they know? Yeah, why think they know why Iran can have nuclear weapon? Nuclear power, because them afraid of countries that have nuclear power. They can't talk to Pakistan like that. They can't talk to India like that. Them place they are not democracy. Well, India is a democracy. Pakistan, them thing a bad man thing when them place it.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. What is the difference between China, Russia, North Korea? What's the different type? What's the difference between the style of government in those countries and Cuba?
Same style, and them man they have nuclear power. Them man they have economic strength and nuclear power. It's just as simple as that.
So
there's a long argument for them too.
So it's just bully the little man and friend up the big man where I do the same thing.
Yeah, man. Especially if the big man have a missile we can reach it. That's why they don't want Iran to have no nuclear missile, because I'm afraid that man who have nuclear missile can reach them. Simple.
Raleigh, talk to us about the Jamaican economy. What went down this week in the Jamaican economy?
Well, basically, the activities, BOJ reduced 25 basis points, them still have 50, and them still have map up liquidity, them map up $40 billion this week and next week.
Hey, Rasta and man have a knack for like summarize your thing. Brother, a badness, they don't want to have no nuclear weapons because they're afraid if them have it, they're not going to use against them. Period.
They might come back for another $20 billion. Yeah, so that's the major discussion, the interest rate reduction, and all of the groups them say, yo, the banks have to reduce interest rates and the minister must reduce the asset tax. All the big bankers them come out and say, including the legion, and say, yo, the asset tax will go now because the 10 years overdue to go.
But
that's where we are right now.
How does the mapping up of liquidity equate to growth of 4 to 7% annually?
No, it can't lead to that. It leads to stagnation and decline. Similarly, the tax package leads to stagnation and decline. You can't look at wishful thinking. So they want that, but they want pursue policies that are contrary to that. That tells you that they don't know what they're doing.
So the finance minister's statement of 4 to 7% annually and the Bank of Jamaica mapping up liquidity runs contrary.
Same way tax package run contrary to that objective, and that is why she said that at the top of the fiscal policy paper. Inside of the fiscal policy paper, she said, oh, by the way, we're going to decline by 4.5% this year, which may tell conservative. 0.5% next year. And then the year after, we're going by 3.3%, and then 2.6%, and then we're going to come back down to 1%. Let's see them know what about it.
So, would it be safe for me and correct to say that this Andrew Wallace-led administration, with Favour Williams as Minister of Finance, have absolutely no growth direction for Jamaica? Raleigh's reconnecting. But, my listeners, the Andrew Wallace-led administration have absolutely no growth direction. They have not had it since 2016. Yeah, Raleigh, you were reconnecting a while ago. So I was saying, would it be safe and correct to say that this government have no growth direction for Jamaica?
Yeah, man, not only from Favour Williams, from neither can.
So since 2016, they have not been able to put in any policy in place to grow the Jamaican economy. Then what is going to happen now, Ralston, coming out of Melissa?
No, they were only doing that. The same thing, they gave the growth projections and all of them, the significant growth. You tell us about 2020, they might come down 1%. So it is based on their own writings and their own pronouncements that them do have a strategy.
No strategy.
Yep.
The bank of Al Edwards asked the governor about the asset tax. The governor of the Bank of Jamaica told him that that is a fiscal policy that the government must deal with. What are your suggestions to the government as it relates to this asset tax, Ralston?
Start talk when to come to Parliament.
You may call it a night, Bless you guys. Thank you for being here. Tired, I'm not going to bed. Word is love, you hear that? Be prepared for what is to come. Be prepared, Jamaica. Come on.